Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new episode of Africa Today, where we get you the latest news and events taking place on the African scene. And we will start off with our major top stories and reports. The 27th round of the International Conference and Exhibition for Technology in the Middle East and Africa opened in Cairo on Sunday. The event is a leading technology expo for Africa and the Middle East. More in the following report.
Cairo hosted on Sunday the 27th round of the International Conference and Exhibition for Technology in the Middle East and Africa, ICT 2023. Speaking at the inauguration, Madbouli said the information technology field is a priority on the state's agenda. He said there is keenness to keep up with technological appliances as there is belief in their impact on all development sectors. Following the inauguration, Madbouli inspected a number of pavilions at the exhibition, including those of the Central Bank of Egypt, the Ministries of Justice, Education, Higher Education, Scientific Research, IT and Communications, and Health and Population. The armed forces also were represented at the exhibition through the Unified National Network for Emergency and Public Safety. The exhibition hosts pavilions of the Arab Authority for Industrialization and the Egyptian Space Agency, as well as the Financial and Digital Investments Company, which gave a review of its activities in the field of digital transformation in the governmental sector and expansion plans in the neighboring markets.
Welcome back. Leaders from more than a dozen African countries are heading to Germany for the G20 Compact with Africa conference, which aims to help bolster private investment in the world's poorest and but fast-growing continent. More in this report.
Underscoring renewed interest in Africa, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, French President Emmanuel Macron, and Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte will be among those attending the G20 Compact with Africa conference. Scholz, who has visited Africa several times since taking office in late 2021, will hold bilateral talks with several African countries on Sunday before hosting a German-African investment summit at Berlin's Marriott Hotel on Monday morning. Europe and the United States are jostling with Russia and China for geopolitical influence, critical minerals, and new economic opportunities in the world's second most populous continent. A top discussion are Africa's potential for renewable energy production, in particular green hydrogen that could help its northern neighbors transition to a carbon-neutral economy. The stability and prosperity of the continent is also seen as key to reducing illegal migration. The Compact with Africa, which was created in 2017 under the German G20 presidency, aims to bring together reform-minded African countries, international organizations, and bilateral partners to coordinate development agendas and discuss investment opportunities. The event officially takes place on Monday afternoon in the German Chancellery, preceded by a news conference with leaders of the African Union, which in September was made a permanent member of the group of the G20 group of the world's most powerful countries. A German government official said, quote, "We will not make a common declaration. We do not want to force our African partners into a tight corset. Instead, we want concrete results." German government officials say Africa can play a key role in helping Germany better diversify its supply chains, secure skilled labor, reduce illegal migration, and achieve its green transition. African countries have long complained that while Europe talks about investment, China actually provides financing without any moral lecturing. Still, Chinese lending in Africa is declining, while European interest is rising as it seeks to diversify supply chains. German trade with Africa was 60 billion euros last year, which is a fraction of its trade with Asia, but up 21.7% on 2021. Nearly two-thirds of German companies want to expand their businesses in Africa, according to a study by KPMG and the German African Business Association. The member countries of the G20 Compact are Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Senegal, Guinea, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Ethiopia.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and to shed more light on the ICT 2023 Expo, we're delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Mostafa Tammam, political analyst. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Tammam, how do you weigh the importance of the ICT 2023 Expo in light of the swift international technological development taking place?
Egypt and the present government are giving a lot of importance and stress to the development of technology. Because as we have a plan, as the government has a plan, in order to develop various aspects of activities in Egypt, so certainly the advanced technology will be a major factor in elevating the projects that will be executed in the development plan. And certainly training and development of personnel and upgrading of human resources and introducing them to the latest technologies will be a crucial factor in the development of the plans which Egypt is planning to execute. On the other side, Egypt is playing a very important role in the African continent, and certainly this will be a positive aspect in order to assist, if we have the right technology and the right human resources, we'll be able to provide assistance to developing African countries in this respect.
Right. Sir, the information technology field is repeatedly being introduced as a priority on the state's agenda. Now, what technological appliances do you see have become vivid in everyday life in Egypt?
Well, actually, in a lot of aspects, in the aspect of financial activities, in the aspect of the banking sector now, you have a lot of facilities that you can obtain the service of the bank without going to the bank by using the IT technology.
Yeah.
You can transfer money, you can inquire about your account, you can open deposits, close accounts, all banking activities to be made through the IT. And this is a successful example.
Most of the time, people now are using the mobile apps and cash machines, not actual banking.
That's true, yes.
That's true. Right. How is the technology sector linked to the whole development vision as introduced by officials lately?
Well, certainly the IT technology is very important because in the speed of receiving information, you see, is important in the decision-making process. You see, in the past, they used to have the mail correspondence, which takes a lot of time, and probably the information might be lost in the mail. But now, with this technology, certainly it will improve the decision-making process, and this will have an impact on the development of the country.
Yeah. How would you place Africa on the global technology development map?
Well, certainly, Egypt is playing an important role in order to develop African countries, not only in the sector of the IT, in other aspects, and certainly introducing, certainly if we have the right IT expertise, we'll be able to export this experts to the African countries, which are really in need of this service now.
Yeah. Sir, the G20 Compact with Africa conference in Berlin takes place on Monday. How do you see the growing European interest in investing in Africa?
Certainly, there's a lot of opportunities in the African continent, but still, you see a lot of probably obstacles might be encountered. One of them is the lack of IT. You see, number two is probably the bureaucracy and certainly lack of expertise in and availability of professional human resources, not only in the IT sector, but in other domains.
Yeah.
So Egypt is playing a very important role in order to upgrade the human resources, which will be in these countries, which will be the driving force in developing these countries.
Right. Dr. Tammam, observers say Europe and the US are jostling with Russia and China for geopolitical influence, critical minerals, and new economic opportunities in the world's second most populous continent. Now, how would you elaborate on this statement?
Well, certainly, because Africa is a potential place for investors, but certainly, still, as I mentioned to you, there are certain obstacles, and probably the United States and China probably will have to exert a lot of effort in order to overcome these obstacles, because no one will come and invest in a country which will face problems. Certainly, we like to have a clear impact about what the situation there, in order that he'll be able to execute the projects and objectives he has in mind.
Yeah. Sir, analysts say Africa's potential for renewable energy production, in particular green hydrogen, is a main reason for the investment drive toward Africa, which could help its northern neighbors transition to a carbon-neutral economy. Now, would you please elaborate on this?
Certainly, Egypt now has a lot of experience in this domain, and we are probably encouraging other countries like African countries also to follow up this process. But as I told you again, the lack of technology probably and human resources will be a major obstacle, and probably Egypt can play a role because we have a lot of experience in this field, and we can transfer these experiences to African countries.
Yeah, well, the stability and prosperity of the continent is also seen as key to reducing illegal migration. But do you think this investment drive will actually translate on the ground, or will Africa continue to be drained out of its resources with little left to its sons?
Well, this depends actually if the African countries will provide suitable jobs and with a reasonable income. This certainly will reduce the illegal immigration and certainly will attract probably the citizens that to be serving the country. But this depends on if these countries will take matters seriously and will start probably developing their countries in a professional manner.
Yeah, well, the compact with Africa was created in 2017 under the German G20 presidency, aiming to bring together four-minded African countries, international organizations, and bilateral partners to coordinate development agendas and discuss investment opportunities. Now, how successful has it so far?
Well, certainly Egypt is playing a vital role in this respect, and is trying to probably enhance and put probably a focus on the problem and solution. And probably what I recommend would be an action plan, actually, for each country that could be developed in order to reach their objectives.
Yeah.
In this case, the investors certainly will be very eager to come and invest and work in these countries.
Yeah, well, the African Union in September was made a permanent member of the group of the G20 group of the world's most powerful countries. Now, how do you see the move?
Well, certainly this will take some time, because certainly I hope that with having all these conferences that action plan, as I told you, should be done. Because unfortunately, we have all these conferences, we have discussions, and then after everyone goes back, we are back to square one because nothing is done. There's no follow-up. It's very important to have a follow-up mechanism in order to take these recommendations of these conferences and put them into an action plan and a follow-up plan, and having a steering committee in order to, if certainly there will be obstacles in the implementation phase. So we'd like to have a steering committee in order to alleviate any obstacles that will be met by these countries.
Right. Well, sir, Dr. Mostafa Tammam, political analyst, many thanks for your insight, sir. And dear viewers, now we go back to our special reports. 8 convoys continued to arrive at the Rafah border crossing, ready to enter Gaza, still being exposed to heavy bombardment by Israeli occupation forces.
An 8 convoy from the Egyptian House of Zakat and Charity arrived at the Rafah border crossing with the Gaza Strip on Sunday. The convoy of 40 trucks includes medicine, food supplies, and livelihood materials. Al-Azhar said the convoy is to enter the Palestinian enclave later within partnership with the Long Live Egypt Fund under the slogan Partnership for Humanity. The statement said the convoy is the second of its kind by the Zakat House under the directions of the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib, within Al-Azhar's Help Gaza campaign, launched since the start of the Israeli aggression on Gaza.
And dear viewers, that wraps up this edition of Africa Today. Many thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more coming up here on Nile TV International.